So today, folks, we're going to talk about archery. Welcome back to Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, guys. Today, we're talking archery. Everything from longbows, compound bows, and even crossbows. Bows have been around. They're prehistoric, guys. You know, cavemen were killing mastodons with these things. And they're going to be around long after we're gone. So you might consider picking one up, whacking at some targets in the backyard, and learning a little bit about archery. It's a great skill to have, to be able to shoot a bow and arrow or a crossbow. They're a little different from each other, and we'll go over some of those differences today and see if any of these really fit the bill for you guys. Yeah, let's get into it, guys. Hudson Valley Prepping Survival. Let's check it out. So the first one we're going to talk about is the tried and true. This is actually a recurve, a longbow. You can tell because a longbow is a bit longer. Longbow got its name because it was about as tall as a man. This is more of a recurve kind of bow. You can see it's nothing more than some fiberglass and a string with a little knock on it. But don't let this fool you, man. This will take down big game, and it'll chase somebody out of your house. I'll tell you what, you start flinging arrows at people, they're gonna run. So this is the prehistoric version. Old. So the first bow we're going to talk about is the recurve or the longbow. Now a longbow is considered a longbow when it's about as tall as you are. So this is a little more of a recurve bow. It's a little bit shorter, a little bit more powerful for its size than a longbow. These have been around for thousands and thousands of years, guys. People have been providing food and sustenance for their families with these forever. It's an incredible piece of equipment, and now we'll talk about some advances on this guy right here. So now we're going to talk about compound bows. These are much more powerful than a longbow or a recurve bow. There's a lot more moving parts, guys. There's a lot more things that could go wrong with one of these versus a longbow. A longbow or a recurve is basically what they call the stick and string. As you can see, this is a lot more complicated with fancy sights and cams and rollers and gears. So there's a lot that could potentially go wrong with this guy. So a longbow is tried and true, something you can use forever, and with this you're going to want a bunch of tools to go along with it and a lot of spare parts, guys, so something to keep in mind. So the newest in the archery department would be the compound bow. The compound bow was developed in the late 60s. I think it was patented in the late 60s, maybe the early 70s. And it uses a cam system here to generate more power. We messed my bow up a little earlier, and you can see what it looks like with the string off it. And that brings up another point, guys. These things are mechanical. You can have trouble with the modern technology, and sometimes it's best just to keep it basic. A longbow, if the string breaks, you tie some new cordage on and you're shooting arrows again. This compound bow now has to go to the bow shop. It's got to be taken down and restrung with a new string. And it's a lot of equipment that a lot of people don't have. So it's something to keep in mind when you're considering archery and something like this. Sometimes it's best to just keep it to the basics, guys. So we've got another option, guys. You've got your long bow, you've got your compound bow, and then you have your crossbow. Crossbow has been around for about 1,000 years, I think, maybe a little bit longer. They were used by the armies in China and France and England in the early days, the medieval times. These things became really popular. They're high powered. It's still the same concept as a bow, but there's more tension. And again, there's a lot of moving parts on these guys. And it's something that, like the compound bow, you've got to have tools, you've got to have spare parts. You need to be able to maintain these things so that they don't break down. And you need to be able to fix them when they do. The old longbow, stick and string, tried and true, you can literally make one in the woods. The compound bow or a crossbow, it's not something you're forging up in the woods, guys. So just a few things to consider. So guys, honestly, my personal preference here is the crossbow. It is incredibly accurate, is incredibly fast. But again, you have the drawback of the cam system and everything else, the string. If something goes wrong, it goes really wrong. And then you have basically a big club that looks really cool. So for longevity, I would say longbow or recurve bow. For power and speed, I would say the crossbow without a doubt. And the compound bow, you know, it has its purposes too. But you've got lots of options, guys. Lots of options when it comes to archery. And it's a lot of fun to fling arrows at targets and challenge your friends, challenge your family, and challenge yourself to be a better archer. So consider it, guys. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. Tell your friends about us. We're here all the time. We're here for you. We want to know what you think. We want to know what you want to see. We want to know what you want to hear. So comment, subscribe, share, talk to your friends. Hudson Valley Prepping Survival. And we're out.